Ever wonder why some faux leather dress illustrations look so dimensional in structure? It all comes down to the same lighting logic used in basic shading. In this video, I'll show you how I think through the highlights and shadows on this faux leather outfit using one light direction. So you can see how advanced textures like this are actually just an extension of the basic shading rules. A lot of beginners want to jump straight into shiny materials like faux leather, but these materials include a lot of visual complexities like highlights, shadows, and reflections that can make shading feel pretty overwhelming. When I was learning how to shade materials like this, I used to pay most attention to the shine. I will look at a reference and try to copy the bright highlights I saw, but without a clear lighting structure underneath, the whole outfit started to look confusing. Eventually, I realized that even tricky textures like faux leather still follow the exact same basic shading rules. So let's put that logic to work on this dress. Step 1, we'll start with the light direction. For this outfit, I used top front lighting. That means light is coming from above and slightly in front of the model, so the upper burst areas catches the strongest light. You'll also notice two highlight lines across the burst. These highlights extend from the shoulder down into the upper burst, and they show the fabric stretching over that area. So anywhere the fabric is being pulled tight, highlights tend to appear stronger. Since the light is coming from the top front, the underburst areas and the sides of the torsos fall into more shadows. And this faux leather is also slightly stretched over the belly. I place highlights over there too. Step 2, we'll add structural details like seams. Here I use two darker lines to indicate the front dart seams on the skirt. This highlight is optional. Because faux leather has a shiny surface, the top front light can sometimes create a soft reflections across the fabric. Step 3, we'll use a hills and valleys lighting concept on these ruffles. You can see that the ruffles have more highlights than the skirt. That's because they don't lie flat against the body, they extend outward and have more volume. Another clue is the thickness of the material. These ruffles are made of thicker faux leather, not a thin fabric, so the folds are more pronounced. Next, this is where the hills and valleys rule comes in. The raised areas are the hills. These are the hills. They catch more light, so they'll get more highlights. And the lower areas between them, these areas, these are the valleys. They sit darker because the folds on both sides block the light. I explained this hills and valleys lighting concept in another video, so I'll link that in the descriptions if you want a deeper breakdown. Since these ruffles extend outward, more fabric gathers around the seams. These are the fabric gathers. And that creates the pattern of alternating highlights and shadows. You can see here, highlights, then the shadows comes, and the highlights again, and the shadows. Here's shadows, highlights, shadows, highlights. You can see here too, highlights, shadows, highlights, shadows, then highlights. This area of the skirt is almost completely covered by the ruffles, so the ruffles cast shadows onto it. And the inside of the ruffles, these areas, they will be the darkest because light can really reach into these folds. So this shiny faux leather look comes from how the shadows and highlights follow the light direction. Once the shading clearly describes the structure, like the bust, the torso, the folds, and the ruffles, the shiny finish starts to look intentional instead of random. And that's why if you understand basic shading, rendering more advanced textures like faux leather becomes much easier. If you want to practice the lighting logic behind this, I really recommend starting with basic shading first. Advanced materials like faux leather can feel overwhelming if the lighting foundation isn't clear yet. I have tutorials on my channel where I break down the fundamentals of dress shading step by step, and those will make complex textures like this much easier to understand. So go check out the basic shading videos on the screen, and I'll see you there.